Hi, San Antonio. My name is Manny Peláez. I'm your city councilman from District 8, and welcome back to another edition of our Everyday series. I can't even talk right. I'm so excited because today we've got Eric Cooper. Eric, welcome to San Antonio's coolest show, which is Everyday Heroes. See, Eric, I'm doing it again. You're really a superstar in my book. I've kind of got the superstar stutters. Eric, you're the CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank, right?
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
I'm just the guy that works at the food bank.
now, listen, Eric. Just folks, so you can understand the setting here. I'm at home, and Eric is in his car, and that scary-looking dude behind Eric is who is that dude behind you, Eric?
He's the masked man. But Mario Obledo, an amazing individual who does a lot for our city. But I have the privilege of working with him at the food bank, and so yeah, we're doing some work today, and we're trying to keep our distance in the car.
Yeah.
All of the COVID-19 protocols. But we definitely wanted to have this opportunity to chat with you, and
Thank you.
And so Mario's like,
Thank
let's
you.
do it.
Thank you, Mario, for letting him do it. Guys, this series, the Everyday Heroes series that we've got together, is really just our way of telling the stories of San Antonians who are out there helping the rest of the community face this COVID-19 challenge. And Eric, I usually work with a big script here and ask you very specific questions. I think you're accustomed to doing a lot of these really cool interviews, and you're better at it than I do. So what is it your team is doing to fill the gap and aid the most vulnerable people? Take it away and just give us the rundown.
Yeah, thanks, Manny. Well, I tell you, I do a lot of interviews, but I don't do too many that are this cool. And so thank you. And, the San Antonio Food Bank is committed to helping families in their time of struggle. And normally that's in a space of 16 counties. We have lots of partner organizations, other nonprofits, and we feed about 58 to 60,000 people a week. And it's families that are, the working poor. They're struggling. They hit some hard times, and so they're coming to the food bank for help. At the onset then of COVID-19, more people were in need. Our community started to unravel, and this spiral of economic downturn, really starting with the news of a potential pandemic and some of that fear, the hoarding and preparation strategies. When you think about a family that we would typically serve, they don't have a household budget to be able to stock up, so they're panicked, like, hey, I need to be getting food. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I don't have the resources to do it. And so we were trying to ease their minds and stock their cupboards, and then getting them prepared, sanitation items, hand sanitizer, all of that kind of stuff. And then schools announced, hey, we're going to close. So many families, their kids are nourished in school, and so the loss of those 2 meals a day has a economic impact. And then, Manny, it, right? So many of our great businesses started to cut back, whether it was cutting hours and then straight out layoffs, and people are furloughed. And I think as we're now in this midst of a shelter in place, so many people have lost their jobs. I don't know what that number is. I've heard estimates of maybe 1 in 4 citizens in San Antonio are not working, not getting a paycheck. That we went from feeding 60,000 a week to 120,000 people a week. And you could imagine just the anxiety at the food bank. One, do we have the staff, the equipment, the resources to now
Yeah.
double what we're doing. And then honestly, the food, do we have enough food to be able to meet that need? My team has been just stellar. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
so humbled by the opportunity to work with a team of people that are just committed to be on the front lines and to show up and serve. And they're people too. They're making sacrifices. They have all of the same fears and anxieties as everyone, but instead of running from this crisis of COVID-19, these guys are running towards it and really delivering. And it's never a good situation when the demand outpaces the supply,
Hmm.
but we're doing what we can to get ahead, and we're going to continue to serve.
Hey, Eric, you know this about me. Most people don't. I used to work for a little car company called Toyota. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But we used to, and I used to work out of that factory out on the south side, and we had this enormous yard where we would stack up Toyotas, and you can get, thousands of Toyota trucks. And if you looked at it from a bird's eye view, it was pretty impressive. I mean, you'd line them all up in a line. And this morning I opened the newspaper and I saw that truck yard and I was like, wait a second, that's not the truck yard. That's Eric Cooper and his crew. And those are thousands of San Antonians waiting in their cars. Talk to me about that. What the heck is going on out there? And by the way, it was
Yeah,
very orderly. How do you get, thousands of people parking in a straight line?
well, straight out, that's SAPD. It's your people working for the city. I mean, I tell you, we have been so pleased and just blessed to be working with the San Antonio Police Department. They have been heroes. You need to be interviewing them
Oh, I will.
rather than me. Um, you know, think about the food bank in 16 counties, 550 partner nonprofits. Food comes into the warehouse and then goes out and stocks those shelves, and families in need can go to their local church food pantry to get food. Now, think of those pantries getting double the requests, so they're trying to keep up. We're trying to stock them, and then to supplement or augment the food supply, we do what we call pop-ups.
Right.
And those pop-up distributions, they happen all over our 16 counties, where families pre-register and go to these sites. Well, we in the COVID-19 protocols, you're so used to doing business the way you used to do it. Now you've got to shift and make sure volunteers and everybody are safe, and that clients coming
Right.
stay in their cars, all of that kind of stuff. And so we moved to a mega site strategy. We're still doing a lot of those smaller distributions, but we wanted to make sure that we were strategic and safe for our volunteers and the families we're serving. And twice a week, we've got these distributions. And boy, the distribution that we had at Traders Village,
Yes.
which again, a big shout out to those folks and Chico Rodriguez that helped us set up that site. It's a beautiful space, and we knew the need on the south side was great. We thought we would plan on serving about 5,000 people. Well, the registrations kept coming in, and so we had planned for about 5,800 people, and then coordinated the food, got the logistics in place, and things were going smooth. But 10,000 people showed up, and I'm sorry, let me just clarify that: 10,000 cars, so 10,000 families showed up.
Yeah.
So you times that by four, it's about 40,000 people that got food yesterday. And I mean, Manny, it was like a war zone. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
the I mean, neat and orderly and organized, but we had to make decisions. Do we turn away this need, or do we do what we can to feed them? And so we brought in lots of trucks, extra trucks from the warehouse. We were staging product, but people were waiting, and it was hot, and so we wanted to do everything we could to just serve those families that are struggling right now. And um, our volunteers, we were only planning on, and you know this from the Toyota days, right? We had our first shift, we had our second
Oh
shift.
yeah.
Um, by the second shift, that was the final shift, we would normally be done. I mean, that would have fed the 5,000. We actually had gone through about 8,000, and then all of a sudden, the volunteers are like, "We got to go. Our shift ends." We've got a couple thousand families sitting in cars
Right.
waiting to get food. We had the food. So Mara and I reached out to the mayor. The mayor sent the Parks and Recreation staff. They got there just as those volunteers were tapping out. I mean, like, Mario relates it that we're the Marines, we're the Army, we're the ground troops, and all of a sudden Parks and Rec shows up like the Air Force flying above, because like we we were in the midst of this. Takes a tremendous amount of logistics. It takes amount of food,
Sure.
and making sure that people are safe. And we were able to finish off and serve that the last several
So
thousand families.
So, Eric, a couple of things. At the beginning of this interview, I told you that I was starstruck because I admire you so much, and and I admire everything you do. I was so starstruck that I didn't hit the button where I get to actually appear on the same screen with you at the exact same time. Look at that. And so now I am, and Mario Obledo is on your communications team, and he's the one that's supposed to get out there and do these really slick presentations that you guys do to the public, and he never forgets to hit the right button. But can you talk to me about how you guys on your communications team are hitting all the right buttons and getting the word out, right? And making sure that people know that you do what you do, and that they can rely on you, but also how it is that they can help you.
Yeah. Well, again, great staff that work hard to make sure that we're covering both sides. For us, it's the give help side, those that want to donate, and then the get help side,
Right.
making sure those that are in need know where to go. And in today's technology, our website manages both traffic, right? Just everyone needs to know safoodbank.org. If you'd like to give help, we need food, time, money, and voice. If you'd like to get help, we've got strategies around today, tomorrow, and a lifetime. So it's those two sides, again, that really, when we're outreaching to the community, if they understand, hey, I can give food, I can do a food drive, I can give time through volunteerism, I can always donate money, or I could be an advocate. I can share in social media what's going on. So that's the food, time, money, and voice if people want to get involved and help. But on the get help side, it's really about people needing food for today. Oftentimes, their refrigerator, their pantries empty, and so we want to make sure we get them food immediately. And that's our today's strategies. Those are our pantries. Those are the frontline troops. Those are the guys really making it happen. Yesterday, that distribution is a today urgent emergency. We want to get people food, but we also want to make sure people are taken care of for tomorrow, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
way we do that is, and this is critical, Manny, is we help them apply for public benefits. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, is the largest safety net to get food to families. And so if families in this time of COVID-19 and they're suffering, we need to help them apply for SNAP. They can go directly to Your Texas Benefits website and apply. But if they struggle with that, they can go to our website, hit that Get Help button, and we'll have a staff member help them through that application. We can also help them with Medicaid, the Children's Health Insurance Program, applying for women, infants, and children WIC, or long-term care if they're a senior. So there's a lot of federal benefits that help stabilize the household in those tomorrow strategies. And then our lifetime work is really about workforce development. It's about connecting people through the incredible organization of Workforce Solutions Alamo, where employment opportunities exist help families move forward and be able to be self-sufficient and self-reliant. Now, this economy in this moment in time, the lifetime work is going to be a long time effort that's been in essence put on pause for so many families, right? Um, I mean, the number of people needing employment right now with the lack of jobs, there's one sector. I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, I'm so blessed to have a board of directors, lots of committees, people that get involved, and I'm on a conference call with lots of great people, but hotel, hospitality, travel, tourism, and those guys are like, we've never had our properties emptied, and
Yeah.
we are heartbroken, and they're devastated, but they're saying we're letting our people go, right? We don't have anything for them to do, and we're not bringing in any money, and so we're having to make the decision to furlough. The other guys on the call are great food companies like Amazon and HEB and Walmart. And those guys are going, we are getting slammed, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we can't keep up. We're hiring like crazy, right? They're looking for people. And so the coolest thing that I experienced during the crisis was connecting those people on that conference call to say, let's get those laid off workers now over getting these jobs to try to mitigate the damages that are going to happen to so many households. And we know that those sectors will sway back, right? And those that are going crazy right now, things will settle down, and then those other industries will come back. But in the meantime, people have to eat, and I think
Yeah.
that's what the food bank's all about.
Everybody's coming together to give you guys the support you need, because I think everybody understands the mission. So there is, I'm posting a link on the bottom of this conversation you and I are having, where people are going to be able to donate and give you guys directly, either money, and then from there they can also find out how they can help. But Eric, I will tell you, I saw something in the paper and it had me worried, and I think it's important that people understand what's going on. You guys raised your hand and said, "Whoa, wait a second! We see a catastrophe on the horizon here, and we need some more help from the state and the federal government." Talk to me about that ask.
Yeah, so we rely on philanthropy, just
Yeah,
like the convenience stores that are rolling together to say we're community, we'll help, we'll do what we can. The food industry stocks our shelves, right? They're donating from farms and manufacturers.
yeah,
HEB is phenomenal, and restaurants, hotels, caterers, all of those places, they all donate. Now, some of our food supply at the food bank has shut off, right? Hotels, restaurants, there's not a lot of food to pick up anymore. Our grocery stores are selling out, so there's not a lot that we're picking up. And so there are areas then of our work, right? We're getting a lot of produce because the restaurants are closed. Those farmers and those food service companies like Cisco, Labatt, Benny Keith, they're stuck because they can't get their food sold because they're not buying it. And so we've been blessed with a lot of produce, but we're out of so many of the other items. And so, this opportunity to think about the question you asked, and think like, how can we, um, you know, how can we continue to meet that need,
yeah,
is a critical one. And so our community relies on those donations, and it's not enough. And so
Ooh,
the
okay,
the the, the intervention in this type of crisis, Manny, we've weathered Hurricane Harvey together. We've weathered other disasters, and the federal government or the state government has the ability to kind of true up the gap, right? There's no way that we will meet that need fully in this level of crisis. And so there's an opportunity for us to ask for assistance, which we did, made that request for the first time ever. We've never, we're the beneficiary of some federal and state programs, which help stock our shelves, which are critical. But
Right.
we've never made an ask like that and as big as it was. So we're asking for 171 semi truckloads of food because we need it. That that number of trucks. Think about the food bank normally distributes about 1,800 semi truckloads of food in 12 months. In 12 months, that's our normal volume. But
Yeah.
we've been operating at twice that. And if we're going to get through the next 4 to 6 weeks, we need help. And so that's what the request was. And we hope that the governor and the Texas Department of Emergency Management and at the federal level, FEMA, send some food aid so that we can make sure that people are nourished and no one goes without food here in our community.
Well, I'm going to encourage all the people who are watching then to keep their eyes on not just the link where they can send you guys support, but also, if you've got time to send your representatives, a message up in DC and in Austin, keep the food bank in mind when you're making your ask. And, it's a simple one. Just please please help the food bank in anything they need. Mario, go ahead, Mario.
Well, I was just going to say, in my government relations work at the food bank, that's city, county, state, federal, all levels of government within our 16 county footprint. I can tell folks out there, it's always a pleasure to work with you, Councilman, and your staff. It's a pleasure, it's a joy, and we appreciate all the support. With respect to the state and the lead, we're about to get on a call now, and I think they're pinging us to talk about some of the support.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Which is why I want to end with this. I'm like I said, I'm here in the comfort of my home, and clearly your office, during this crisis is your car. Right now, you're out there in the field, Eric, and I also worry about our everyday heroes like you. In as far as their health here and their health here, and your family. So take off your food bank CEO hat for a second. How's Eric Cooper and how's the Cooper family doing?
Yeah, I'm so blessed to have an amazing wife and 5 children, 2 of which are still at home. The other 3 are on their own, which has been great. But they're all healthy and safe, and they fuel me, and they know it's go time. And so that sacrifice of the long days and just not seeing them, oftentimes they're getting ready for bed as I'm getting home, and I'm out the door before they awake. And so that's the role of what we signed up for, so to speak. And I've never really thought anything else. It's just when people are in need, we want to make sure they're taken care of. And honestly, you're so awesome to check in on me. I worry about my team. I don't have small children anymore, but some of my staff, they have newborn kids. They just and they're deciding in some cases not to hold them because they worry from being on the front lines that maybe they'll get their new baby sick. We've got husband and wife living in separate households because they don't want to get each other sick. We've got grandparents that used to live with a staff member that now live with another family member because they don't want to get them sick. And those kind of sacrifices, a lot of industry frontline first responders are having to do so that they keep their loved ones safe. And we're going to do what we can. And I pray that my team and everyone is just not impacted by the virus directly. All of us are impacted directly, but that none of them contract this deadly virus.
Yeah.
And
So Eric, it's closing arguments time. If our audience had to remember one thing about the food bank, what is that one thing?
Well, I think just that the food bank loves the city of San Antonio, and we will always be reaching out to anyone that's in need. And we applaud and are so grateful to all of those companies, churches, foundations, individuals, volunteers that join us in reaching out to make this city a compassionate city, one that people can find hope in, and we'll stand firm in fighting hunger and feeding hope.
There you go, folks. You just met one of your everyday heroes, one of our CEOs here on the front lines, helping out one of your neighbors. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Mario. God bless you guys. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember that you can directly give to the San Antonio Food Bank through the donation link that I've attached below. Please consider giving to them, and please stay safe, okay? Eric, you too, stay safe. Wear your mask, guys.
All right. Thanks, Manny. Take care, buddy.
Bye.